Howdy folks. This is going to be my newest informative video, how to improve your credit. Really quick, want to get a piece of advice out there. If you have your banking done through any of the major large banks, I would suggest moving your money to a local credit union. I have been with Arizona Federal Credit Union for nearly 2 decades now. They are awesome. They've treated me better than any organization I've ever worked with. And in general, credit unions always treat their customers better than large banks. And in general, customers of credit unions do better financially through their accounts, meaning they have less fees, meaning they get less screwed over by their bank. I've been personally screwed over by more than one of the large banks in the United States, and I'm not going to let that happen again. Moving on, a lot of us out there have terrible credit right now. There's a credit crunch that's been going on for a while. A lot of us, it's no fault of our own. Some people are college students who wanted to get a free t-shirt or CD, so they applied for a credit card 4 years ago, and they were giving them away like Pez, and ended up getting into some debt with the credit cards, and now your credit score sucks, and oftentimes you also have debt you need to pay off. Either way, if you want to improve your credit, then here's a couple of quick things that'll help you out. The first thing that you can do is pay your bills on time. And what I mean by that is your utilities. Your electricity, your water, your gas. These are bills you have to pay. This is money you're going to pay anyway. You're not going to get away from that. You have to pay your electricity bill or else you can't play the Xbox. So you're going to be paying this bill no matter what. So just pay it on time. Now, I'm terrible about this. Go ahead and call me a hypocrite. That's fine. This hurts my credit score. Not paying my bills on time hinders my building of credit. I understand this. But as a simple step that you can do, hopefully you've got a better memory than I do, pay electricity bill on time. Give SRP their money. Okay, moving on. Next thing that you can do is call your credit card company. Tell them, look, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay this off, and then you're going to lose money. Is there any way I could get my rate adjusted? Trust me, I've got a certain strong knowledge on this subject from multiple angles, and credit card companies would much rather get some money than no money. So they will more than likely work with you. But the best thing you can do, best, not cheapest, not fastest, best overall, the best thing you can do to improve your credit is take out a personal loan and pay it off. I would again suggest doing this with a credit union. Take out a personal loan and then pay it off. That will improve your credit. First of all, a personal loan has a fixed interest rate. That means whatever interest rate they tell you is actually the interest rate you're going to pay. A credit union, at the very least, cannot legally change the interest rate on a personal loan once the document's been signed. That is an agreement between the organization and you, the customer. It cannot be altered. Credit card, they can jack it up whenever the heck they feel like it. They have to notify you, but they just put that in a tiny little piece of paper. Anyway, moving on. Take out a personal loan and pay it off. In fact, you can just go to a credit union, take out a $1,000 personal loan. Doesn't matter what the interest rate is. 3 days later, take the exact same money, take out that $1,000 you just borrowed, pay it off. That will immediately improve your credit score a little bit. Not a lot, but it will help a little bit. You can only do this, the immediate payback, once or twice. It'll actually start hurting your credit score if you do it 3 or more times, because the people who manage credit don't want you to have a good credit score. They want you to have a reasonable but poor credit score. That way people can charge you more interest and all the financial people make more money. So you can only do this once, maybe twice. But let's say you've done this once. You went to your local credit union, you took out a $1,000 loan, you immediately paid it back. Not immediately. You can't do that. You have to wait at least a day or two. But you take out a $1,000 loan, you go back 2 days later, you pay the entire loan back. You haven't paid any interest, but your credit score has improved a tiny bit. Okay? A week after that, 1 or 2 weeks after that, you need it to have time to work the way through so that they've reported your loan. You need to wait until after they've reported your loan to the financial credit agencies. Then go back to the same bank, the same credit union, and take out a larger loan. Take out a loan for something you actually need, like your credit card debt. Let's say you have $1,000 of credit card debt. You're paying a standard interest rate for a college student is anywhere between 18 and 30% interest. Let's say you're paying 20% interest on the credit card debt. I guarantee you can get a personal loan for 20 to 24% interest. And here's the thing. If you have a 20% interest rate on a credit card, you're actually paying closer to 22% interest, even if your APR is 20%. That has to do with the way they calculate it. There's no fictitious math like that with a personal loan. So you go to a bank, you say, I need to take out a personal loan. Now here's what you do. If you need $1,000 to pay off your credit card debt, and if you have a poor credit score and you've got credit card debt, you're probably paying a lot more than 20% interest. But in this scenario, you need $1,000 to pay off your credit card debt. What you want to do is take out a $2,000 loan, not a $1,000 loan. You take out a $2,000 loan. Then you look at your personal finances, you look at your income. You say, how long would it normally take me to pay off a $2,000 loan? I could probably do that in 2 years. Okay? Take out the loan for 5 to 10 years. Okay? The larger the dollar figure and the larger the time period over which you're paying it back, the lower your interest rate. I'm going to say that again. A larger dollar figure means a lower interest rate. A larger payback period means a lower interest rate. So if you need to pay off $1,000, you take out a loan for $2,000, and if you can pay it back in 2 years, you set up the loan to pay back in 5 years. Doing this gives you breathing room, it gives you control, and above all else, it gives you a better interest rate. Moving on. You've now taken out your $2,000 loan. You take $1,000 of that, pay off your credit card. I would suggest closing the credit card. Canceling a credit card is actually bad for your credit, but having a credit card is bad for your credit. Anyway, so now you've got your credit card paid off. There's no more credit card debt. You just wiped it out. By paying off the $1,000 credit card debt, you've improved your credit score right off the bat. So your credit card debt is gone, no longer part of the equation. Now you have a $2,000 loan that is set out to be paid off over a 5-year span. You also have $1,000 in cash. Take that $1,000, set up an account at the exact same financial institution, same bank, same credit union, whatever. Ask a personal banker, if at all possible, you want to set it up to cover the minimum payment for that $2,000 loan out of the account you're setting up. That means if you can, set it up so that if you're unable to pay the minimum payment on that $2,000 loan, this account will make the payment for you. If they can't do that, don't worry about it. Still set up the account there at the bank. Now you take $500 of that $1,000 you have and pay off $500 of the $2,000 loan. If you do this all within a single day or within a single week, then that means you now have no credit card debt and you have a $1,500 loan that only needs to be paid off within a matter of 5 years. You also have $500 in an account in the exact same bank, which can help cover you in the case that you are unable to make the minimum payment. Now what do? Well, remember how we set the loan up for 5 years, even though you knew you could pay it off in 2? That means that your minimum payment on this 5-year loan is going to be dramatically less than the minimum payment for a 2-year loan. So you look at whatever the minimum payment for a 2-year loan is, and you start making that. I would suggest making more than that, but you make whatever you would have had to pay if it were a 2-year loan. This will pay the loan off faster. If at all possible, make twice the minimum payment out of your actual income. Leave that $500 alone. Now, if you get into a financial problem, if you get into some dire straits and you can't afford to make your twice the minimum payment or the 2-year payment, that's what that $500 is there for. It covers you in case you run into problems. If you don't run into problems and you're paying it off well and fine, then just check in on the total balance every once in a while. Once the total remaining balance of that loan is $500 or less, if you haven't touched that $500, pay off the whole thing. In the end, your credit will thank you. So will your wallet.